Hello and welcome back to the Absolute Football Podcast. I'm going to try and contain my excitement. Yeah, we're recording this on Sunday evening, straight after Arsenal have just beaten Man United away at Old Trafford. So I'm going to keep calm, professional, not too over the top, heart on the sleeve. What's the chances of that happening, Tom?
Yeah, no chance. 14 years of hit. Slowly. It's all come out at once. I can imagine you in the middle of your living room, just on your knees, just like screaming, eyes streaming as well.
So I'm wearing a hoodie at the moment. I literally had this hoodie just over my head for the last 10 minutes of the game, just peeking through the tiniest hole in it, heart pounding. I had to go and get a beer after the game just to calm myself down to do this. So, yeah, it's we'll see how calm I can stay. We'll see.
Yeah, I can't even imagine what your heart must have been doing after it's not really a chance, is it? But when United technically hit the post after two deflections.
Well, I suppose that's something to say that the closest they came during the game was when the ball smashed off Bernd Leno's face and then into the post. But honestly, turtleneck was it was close. It was very close. But okay, so before we get on to my highlight, which is probably very obvious, tell me about your highlight of the week then, Tom. I think it's been a good week for both of us.
Yeah, well, highlight of the week's Edouard Mendy again. 4 games, 4 clean sheets, just unbelievable. And the difference having him and Thiago Silva is night and day. It's night and day. So very, very happy Chelsea fan. Very happy.
To me, as an outsider, looking at Mendy, and I think we've said it before, just over Kepa, I think, over anyone, but over Kepa, obviously. I think that it just allows the rest of the team to be a lot more comfortable on the ball. And it just feels like you have that sort of swagger about your play, even up the field when he's in goal, which is strange. But yeah, he looks like a very good signing considering he's 28, is it?
Yeah, he's still pretty young for a keeper. And I just think the difference that obviously there's a lot made about the Havertz signing, there's a lot made about the Werner signing, and how we're now going to be an attacking force, and Ziyech coming in, who's, again, 2 man of match performances in his first 2 starts, looks different grade.
Well, he was the one that we said since the start was the signing.
Yeah.
And it was just about waiting for him to get a few games in. And I thought he was going to be your highlight of the week, considering the Champions League and the Premier League as well.
Yeah, and he has looked very good, but it's more because the problems we had last year we were scoring goals, and the problems even at the start of this season is we've been able to score goals. I know at Southampton and the West Brom game, and a couple of weeks ago I was getting pretty passionate about the whole starting every game 1-0 down. It almost feels gone the other way now because him and Thiago Silva are so solid, and it's little things that make it so good now. Is because Kurt Zouma's a bit of a, I don't want to say eccentric, but he's prone to a mistake. He's a bit more rough and ready. And having the fact that Thiago Silva played with PSG for so many years, probably first language French, Edouard Mendy's going to be French speaking, Kurt Zouma's going to be French speaking, and that's our core of our defence. I think just all of that is that bit that I always knew we could score goals. The players we've got, we're always going to score goals. And Ziyech does give it that touch of class, but it's the core of the defence that's the big thing. But that's not actually what my sort of highlight or star of the week is. It's a bit of a weird one, and most people probably won't expect it. But I'm going to go for Kyle Walker.
Oh, right, okay. Interesting.
Just because there's a lot of talk on social media at the moment about how many good right-backs England have. And I think he gets forgotten a lot of the time. It's always is it going to be Wan-Bissaka or Trent? Is it Trent or Wan-Bissaka? Oh, is Reece James the best of those two? Who's the best out of those 3? And people just forget that Kyle Walker is probably been Man City's best player this season. I know it's only 5-6 games in, but he's just immense. He just gets forgotten about. He's world class.
The only thing I would say is that I think the reason he's not in the conversation for England's best right back is because he plays as England's right centre back in a 3.
Yeah, admittedly, but when we're talking about the best right back in the league, he doesn't come in. If we were going to do that now, we'd both probably forget about him.
He's one of mine that I just think he offers you so much. He's technically so brilliant. His recovery runs I've never seen anything like it. The way he makes up ground. So quick. And so he's got so much desire as well. You can be that quick and still jog back, or you can be that quick and say that player is 30 yards ahead of me and I'm not going to get there. Yeah. Even if he doesn't get there, every single time he makes the run to try. Yeah, I'm a big fan, huge fan. And some of the
Yeah.
goals he scored from a right back position are just
Well, like his
different
finish on
gravy.
Saturday. His finish on
Remember the one a
Saturday.
couple of was it like, last season or the season before against Newcastle?
Yeah.
Oh Jesus Christ!
But that's the
Daisy
thing.
cutters they are, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly. If De Bruyne does that, everyone's going crazy about it. And I think he just kind of
The
gets left
technique to
behind.
keep it that powerful and that low consistently
Yeah.
the whole way through the strike is
It's like
incredibly
Gerrard-esque, isn't
hard.
it?
Yeah, it is. And like people, and I think a lot of people look at it and it looks so simple that they don't realize how hard that is to do.
When
But
it's
for him
coming
to
to
have
you as
that
well,
technique as well,
hitting across it, it's great. Brilliant, brilliant goal.
yeah,
So I think he gets
incredible.
sort of left behind when we're talking about the great English players. I know at some point, probably on the podcast, we'll do what our Dream England 11 is. But
Mm,
and if I was doing it before this weekend, I probably wouldn't have put Kyle Walker in my team. But he's got to be the best right back in England. He's got to be. There isn't a better
currently,
right back in the league. Yeah, Wan-Bissaka is good defensively, but doesn't have it going forward. Trent's looked wobbly this season. Reece James is going to be good, and I think the problem he's got at the moment is a bit of inconsistency. He's so young. But like Reece James started right back in England's last game. Kyle Walker just gets forgotten about. I know they play back three, so it's different. But
mm,
the fact he can play as part of a back three and look just as comfortable.
yeah.
Yeah, so I think it was more of a realization of how good he is this week from watching it.
Yeah.
I want to make an honourable mention for Nate Phillips as well as a final one. Just Nathaniel Phillips for Liverpool.
Incredible story, that, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Well, before this, thinking of my stars thinker, I've gone in my notes on my phone. I put Phillips first, then I've put Walker, but by Phillips I just open bracket story. It's like the story of how he got there, and I love stuff like that in football. Like the fact that he spent last season on loan in Stuttgart, nobody knew him. But he's the same age as Joe Gomez, and everyone talks about how young Joe Gomez is. And he was just, Phillips was immense. Proper old school centre half.
But do you know what? A Burnley signing would have been good for him. But anyway, we won't talk about them for 3 podcasts in a row. Although we might actually, because
they might come up. Yeah, they were. By the way, they were. Yeah, if we're talking about how good Chelsea were, they were bang average. They were poor, really poor. I thought like they had offered nothing.
Yeah,
really.
No, I agree.
And
I thought Nick Pope was, and that's the issue with Burnley is that unless Nick Pope is on top form, they're in trouble every single game. And he deserves better, I think. But we'll wait and see what happens in the future.
I think it's worrying times even with the takeover. But even with the takeover, they're still the poorest club in the Premier League. After the takeover, which is going to be a cash injection, they're still going to be the poorest team in the league. So it's not good. And like I said, if Nick Pope's not on song, then it's a real worry.
Yeah, for sure.
So
no sort of surprises in my highlight of the week. Obviously, literally a couple of hours have passed, not even a couple of hours have passed since Arsenal beat Man United at Old Trafford. So that is just to sort of give you a few bits of information. It's our first away win at a Big Six side since January 2015.
Gross.
Which was Man City when we beat them 2-0, and it was kind of Coquelin's,
coming out party.
Yeah, literally. And I actually remember I was travelling that day and I didn't watch the game because I'd gotten so used to Arsenal just losing at Big Six grounds. And so I was travelling, I was on the bus and I had a notification just to say that like there'd been a goal, but it didn't say which team. And I was like, oh, fuck's sake. And then there was another one and I was like, oh, 2-0 City then. Brilliant. Here we go. And I managed to check. I had no signal on my phone and I managed to check it when I got off and I couldn't believe it. And to think that I've had to wait then not nearly, 5.5 years for another one is mad. But then if you think that's a long time to be waiting, like you mentioned earlier, that's our first league win at Old Trafford since 2006.
That's just insane.
Honestly, mad. And I remember there was a time when we went to Old Trafford. We'd just beaten Leicester on Valentine's Day, the year that Leicester won it, to bring ourselves within 4 points of Leicester with quite a few games to go. And we went to Man United and basically we needed to win it. If we won it, we probably would have gone on and won the title because it really would have put, Leicester's back up basically.
Yeah.
And we went and they had every single player under the sun out. They were playing 18-year-old Marcus Rashford on his Premier League debut just because he'd played against Midtjylland like 3 days before and had scored in the Europa League. They had Varela playing at right back like an 18-year-old. They literally had one of the worst United teams I've ever seen in my life. and they still beat us 3-2. And it was just at that point I realised, I was like, this is nothing to do with quality. And it was a Van Gaal team, wasn't even a Ferguson team. I was like, this is nothing to do with tactics, nothing to do with quality, anything like that. It is a pure mental block that Arsenal have at that ground, and particularly at the big teams. And that is something that Arteta is starting to overcome. The other thing I would say is that last week, obviously, I said I was kind of a bit, not concerned, but I didn't know which way Arsenal's season was going to go. And I wasn't going to get on Arteta's back because you know how much I love Arteta and everything he's instilled at Arsenal. Do you know that we have the best defensive record in the league this season, despite already playing away at Anfield, the Etihad, and Old Trafford?
Yeah, I did. I saw the league earlier. I watched the game as well. I wouldn't be like as excited as I think a lot of Arsenal fans are.
Oh no, United were dreadful.
Yeah, but there's a mixture. I think United were dreadful, and although Arsenal dominated and Thomas Partey was immense, just what a signing! What a signing! You didn't really create loads, and the penalty, although I think it's a penalty, I do.
It is a penalty.
Yeah, but it's one of those that you could imagine it not being given.
Yeah,
I think it's a penalty, but like that could have quite easily have not gone to VAR and not been penalty. It's just an innocuous challenge, like coming together, one of those type things. Because it doesn't look like Bellerin really gets. He could have stayed on his feet. It's one of them. He didn't win the ball. Pogba did something on his foot. So I don't think it's that. I think it's the idea of the result is bigger than the actual result. I don't think Arsenal looked that great.
No, and it's the same issue we've had all season, is that, our attack is just we just don't create enough at all. And Lacazette, I mean, he's again in the game. There was an opportunity where Aubameyang pulled it back and complete air shot, and they're the chances you just have to take. You just have to score those positions that you're in. You usually wouldn't get an opportunity again like that against United. So no, I'm not sitting here saying that now Arsenal are the next title challengers or anything. What I would say is that we have an identity. We're playing very well defensively, which who would have thought that Arsenal would have the best defensive record in the league? You can't take that away from him. And I think that he's taken it too much the other way, in my opinion. But I think that was needed, because I think if we can take it too much the other way and then build the other, the stuff that we have our sort of values set in place for, I don't think that's as hard to instill as it is the defensive side of it. So I think it's a big result mentally as well, rather than the performance. The performance, you're right, it could have gone either way. Well, it couldn't have gone either way. United didn't threaten at all. No. It could have been a draw, and it could have been, not a fantastic result. And it wasn't a good game.
It was a 0-0 game, wasn't it?
It was. Well, no, I still think Arsenal deserved to win it. I do. I think
they were the better. Yeah, I agree. I think they were the better team, but it's one of those games that it was like it wasn't fun to watch.
No, not at all.
It's equivalent to the Chelsea United game, isn't it? But Chelsea should have had a penalty. It would have been exactly the same result.
And funny enough, I was chatting to my mate who's a United fan, and he was saying that he felt United deserved to win that game. And I thought that was nonsense, because I thought Chelsea had a perfect away performance. And I thought basically Chelsea did what Arsenal did today, except for Arsenal got the penalty and Chelsea didn't.
Yeah.
What I would say today is I've got 3 players to pick out. Gabriel at centre back. I think is he 22? I think
22,
he is.
Yeah.
22 or 2. That's an incredible signing, and he looks. I mean, I don't want to big him up too soon, but it looks very, very good business. He's been man of the match or man of the match contender in pretty much every game he's played for us.
That's it, right? You love this. Yeah, this does make sense. Sorry to cut you off, but you are the most, I don't know how to describe it, of anybody who has half a decent performance, you're like, they're going to win the Ballon d'Or at Arsenal. You love it. So if you're being a bit more reserved, that means you really think he's going to be something.
Well, no, what I usually am is with Arsenal's youth prospects.
Blindly optimistic.
Yeah, blindly off. But with people we bring in, I'm not so much. I usually judge them pretty as they are.
Oh, fair.
And I think I want to be reserved, but I think and the reason I'm being reserved is because the signings haven't been great over the last however many years until Arteta took over. I can't say Arteta's signings have been bad, because the other player, I'll mention the other one I want to give a sort of honourable mention to is El Neni. I thought he was phenomenal today. I thought the work he got through, I thought he actually does look forward as well with the pass. He doesn't play the easy pass the whole time. He goes and presses them. He just sets the pace. He sets the tone. When the team is looking a bit sluggish, he really kind of brings it up a gear in that middle of the park. And I said it quite a few times in this podcast. I think he was my star of the week the first 2 episodes. So he's having a very solid season. And then finally, my actual star of the week, if you like, is Partey. I thought that's the closest performance to Patrick Vieira in an Arsenal midfield I've seen since Vieira.
Yeah.
Easily, not even close.
Rolls Royce,
he did everything brilliantly. Yeah, and it's 45 million or whatever it was. Bargain.
Yeah,
looks like an absolute bargain. But yeah, I don't want to, like you said, I don't want to go out here and say, Arsenal are winning the league or anything like that. It's not that, and it wasn't a great performance in terms of attacking or anything like that. Either team, they weren't great, but Arsenal had and executed their game plan much better than United did. And yeah, I think it's a huge result for us mentally more than anything else.
Yeah, I agree. And I think you, like I said, you probably did deserve to nick it. But I just thought United were awful, personally.
Yeah, dreadful.
I don't understand that diamond formation. I don't think there's any way that anybody can tell me that you get Fred, McTominay, Pogba and Fernandes into a midfield. I just
Tom thing is right. I
don't understand.
Obviously, listening back to all the episodes we've done, and we've spoken about Ollie quite a few times. I don't want to do it again because it sounds like we're just sort of that's all we want to do.
It's boring, yeah.
Is jump on United, but let's just face it, and we've said it many times before. They're not winning anything with Ollie at the helm. Okay, just call it what it is. Call a spade a spade. He's not a good football manager. It is what it is. Nice guy, really nice guy. Really, comes across really charismatic in interviews. Everyone wants him to do well. I understand all of that. But he's not a good football manager. So get rid. Well, he might be a good football manager. He's not a Man United football manager.
Yeah, he's not going to win your league.
Get rid. No, he's not going to win your league. He's not going to win the Champions League. Get rid. Get someone more experienced in. Get someone. You've got Pochettino sat there waiting. If you're telling me, and it keeps coming down to everyone says, he hasn't got the players he's asked for, the investment, blah, blah, blah. I'm sorry. Give Pochettino that squad. Watch. Just watch.
100% agree. 100% agree. I just don't. Yeah, it's annoying because then they do, like I said, in the Champions League, they do pull stuff out of the bag. But I can't see it lasting much longer if that carries on. I think just because. But then there's so many confusing things about it. I don't understand the diamond. I get it because Martial's not playing and they don't really have any wide players. And they don't really, obviously, doesn't fancy Daniel James, which is fair enough, I think.
But Tom, even stop there, right? How can you be at Man United for how many transfer windows and not have any real wingers?
Yeah, but Sancho, that's the whole Sancho thing. That's way above his head.
Yeah, but I don't care. But you have, as a manager, there must be a point where you sit there and you say to your chief executive or whatever, you say, okay, that deal's not progressing and I need a winger, so let's move on to other targets.
I guess, they did sign that guy from Atlanta, actually, didn't they?
Yeah, but he's 18.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad signing. Probably is a good signing, but not what they needed right now.
Yeah, not for the money they paid for it as well.
No.
You
probably could have got Adama Traore.
Yeah,
at least not far off.
Yeah, he's looking pretty poor this season anyway.
Yeah, but he's playing in a completely wrong. But anyway, we'll get into it. He's playing in a completely wrong system in terms of what United need, which is just raw pace to stretch teams.
Yeah, him and Rashford. Him and Rashford as a two. Yeah. Scary.
Bloody hell.
Scary stuff.
Yeah, scary. Anyway, so apart from Ollie being a massive stinker, what was your stinker of the week?
Oh, so you're getting good at this, mate. You really are, to be fair. Smooth as ever. Because I didn't really think there was that much horribly wrong this weekend, and there hasn't been a disgusting VAR decision, although saying that, Spurs got a penalty about an hour ago that's questionable. It's twofold. So one of them I want to say is Sebastian Haller, or Aller, however you say it. And I want to link onto the back of that then, just, it's not for this week so much, but then just because it links well with it, is the whole Joelinton thing. I just don't understand how those two players can be so bad for what you're talking. Yeah, I just don't understand.
85 million pounds.
Yeah, you're talking about it. Haller was the same price as Thomas Partey.
Mm-hmm. And Joelinton was 40 million pounds.
Yeah, let that sink in. And so what you could have got is Joelinton and Haller up front, or you could have got Diogo Jota and Thomas Partey.
Crazy.
Who is in?
Absolutely crazy.
And if you look back at Haller's record as well, like we said at the start, Mikel Antonio, okay, he scored 11. I think it's 11 goals in his last 13 games, but he's still maybe he's now turned into a striker, but he is a modified winger who's playing up front. Sebastian Haller is a
Who
40.
can also play right back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, what player? So, but Sebastian Haller, I just don't understand who's signing off on signing these players for 40 million, 45 million.
I think it's from watching that game, the West Ham game. I think it's more than that. I think not even the value for what he can give you in terms of his general footballing ability, which is, he's a good player at Frankfurt. He was good. It's still too much money, but just watching him on the pitch, I was just there like, run,
Yeah,
just run. Like the ball has come nowhere near you for a solid 15 minutes. You're not out of breath. You can't possibly be tired.
yeah.
The
Run
ball
the
has
channels,
then come up the pitch a
whatever it
bit.
is.
Just not even run the channel. Just run. Like the ball will come into the middle, and he'd let other people jump up in front of him and head it back.
Yeah,
I was there. Like I'm not even a West Ham fan. I was there. Like, what is this guy doing?
Yeah. Yeah. I think he was just overall poor, and it does show. I think, although in fairness, because I think it makes you think that if Antonio had been playing, West Ham probably do a job on Liverpool, because they played pretty well again.
They did.
So
Yeah, they did.
fair play to them. They are playing pretty.
Do you know,
pretty
right?
good football.
I read. I don't know if this is right. I might have had it wrong, but I read that Liverpool, this season. So how many games have they played? 7.
Yeah,
They played 7 games. They've scored 17 goals. They've conceded 15.
it's worse than that.
Now I know, like one
It's
of them
worse
was
than that.
Aston Villa. Oh, go on.
The stat is that since they clinched the league, whenever that was, obviously back in Project Restart, but I think it was like 8 games to go or something like that, or ridiculous, 5 games to go. Since that game, no team in the Premier League has conceded more goals than Liverpool.
Bloody hell.
So that's
That's
every team.
crazy.
Yeah, I know. No teams conceded. Obviously, they've in that it's a very small sample size. But the 7 games this year and then 5 games last year, roughly. I know they had that, obviously, the weird game with Villa. But yeah, no teams conceded more goals. I think everyone will say make about Van Dijk being injured, but he's only been injured for 1 game. And what was rock solid defence,
that's true, that.
leaky. Very leaky. And in all honesty, Fornells should have scored a second one against them.
Yeah, he should have.
Like she should have gone near post. If he goes near post, that's 2-0 at that point. Yeah, it would have been 2-0. No. Would it have been 2-0? Who scored the...
I think it was 2-1.
Yeah, it would have been 2-1, sorry, because Salah... Yeah, they'd taken the lead again,
the
yeah.
penalty, yeah.
Yeah, so that would have been 2-1. So they're looking dodgy, they're looking gettable. But fair play.
You say that though, but they're still top by what, 3 points?
Yeah, they grinded out a win when they probably didn't deserve it, which is Championship.
I still think City will settle and will cause them some issues this season, despite them having a bit of issues sort of scoring goals, which is, I can't believe I'm saying that about City. Well, we can believe it because they do need a new striker.
Yeah, so that's that season.
But yeah, exactly. But I think that there's teams that will cause them trouble this season. They don't look as sort of formidable as they have done in seasons past. But then again, is that even a sign of how good they can be if they click into that other gear or those other gears? Then then it's a real worry for anyone trying to catch them.
It's just a striker issue,
we'll
isn't it? It's just a striker issue. They need somebody every team needs that 20 goal a season striker, and they don't have that. Especially with them both being injured. And Ferran Torres isn't a striker, as you saw on Saturday. Like you said as well, Sterling can't really play that number 9 yet. Possibly he can. So yeah, I think there is worries for other teams, but I think Liverpool probably still have it. If they grind out games like that, and West Ham have come into this game, it couldn't be in much better form. Arguably one of the form teams in the league before this weekend. And then they come in and it's Shaqiri assisting Jota, which is another worry. And they've got Joe Gomez and Nathaniel Phillips playing centre half. It's like if they're going to win those kind of games, that's probably them.
This is what I mean. I think if they're already clear at the minute, and then they can click into those other gears, and I think they're probably, they're going to be difficult to catch this season.
Yeah, definitely for sure. I just want to put one more stat in. Something I read this week about Sterling. I know we talk about like Ballon d'Or and stuff like that. He is, I can't remember what the stat was, but I think his numbers around this anyway. He's 9 goals away from being the Premier League's highest ever scoring winger.
Jesus.
And also, I think it's 5 goals away from being the top scoring Englishman in the Champions League. And he's 25.
Bloody hell. I was just about to ask, how old is
He's
he?
25.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
That's
I
crazy.
can't remember where is it? So, sorry. Sterling's 21 goals away from being the highest scoring winger in Premier League history, and is now 9 goals away from being the highest scoring English player in the Champions League. He's 25 years old.
Bloody hell. That is mad.
Yeah.
Oh, well, like we said last week, maybe criminally underrated, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because he is probably the only Englishman currently who's got the potential to win the Ballon d'Or in the next coming years.
Yeah, it's mad stat,
or at least play for those sort of elite clubs. Yeah, no, definitely for sure. And actually, funny enough, we were saying that one of the teams that he could probably go and play for eventually, and he would get in the side for currently, is Barcelona. And actually, they're my stinker of the week.
Fair.
I don't know if you've seen, but this season they've had 8 points from 6 league games. They're 12th in the league, 8 points behind Madrid already. 6 games in, they're 8 points behind Madrid. Koeman looks like he's in a lot of trouble. I think the only glimmer of hope that they kind of have and the positivity is that their president, which we said last week wouldn't get re-elected and he would be forced out, has actually resigned now. So that's happened this week as well. But he's left them in a horrendous financial situation.
Say the finances, yeah.
They're literally begging players to take wage cuts. And did you see, by the way, that when in his resignation kind of like press conference, he said that the answer to their financial situation, he said, what we're going to do, this was genuinely what he said. He said, what we're going to do is we're going to join the European Super League, and that will sort out our financial situation. And it's like, what, a European Super League that hasn't been agreed and pretty much everyone is rejecting will ever happen. That's your solution. It shows you how mad the running of that club has been for the last 6 years since he took over. You look at the downfall of that team since he took over.
The signings don't make any sense.
The signings don't make any sense. The whole culture of the club. And this is what I always think about football, is that you can always think that no matter what's happening sort of off the pitch and upstairs and everything like that, it's on the pitch where it matters in terms of for the fans and everything like that. You don't realise how much of an impact it can have because you forget that they're a day-to-day thing as well. So the whole culture of the place and everything and the mood, the whole atmosphere, the morale, everything that then leads into performance, like any other business, is so badly affected by sort of, the tension and the negative tension that's involved there.
Sorry, HR.
So I think, yeah, exactly. I think that him resigning, though, I think it's a huge positive for the whole club. I think the financial situation is a huge worry. But if they're currently in big trouble. If they can get sort of a massive overhaul of that squad, and I'm not necessarily talking about bringing players in, their youth prospects look really promising. The academy looks like it's going to deliver another generation yet again. Big surprise, which is incredible and a massive achievement for them anyway. If they can overhaul those big earners who maybe are not pulling their weight, give the chances to the academy prospects, get a manager in who, I know Koeman does actually have the same values as them, but he's not a talented enough manager, which is a weird thing to say, but from an international point of view, he's a very talented manager. Club level, he's never really done it. And he's had enough chances now. We're talking about, 10 clubs or so across 4 different leagues, I think. Yeah. And he's never really done it apart from Southampton. And even then, it kind of, it was, up and down. So I think if they can get maybe like a Xavi, maybe Xabi Alonso, who I think is currently leading his Real Sociedad team to top of the table, above everyone in La Liga at the moment. If they can get someone like that, who's going to play that type of football that they play. And I don't know about you, but for me, I want them back. It's sad at Barcelona particularly when we were growing up through our sort of peak footballing years in terms of following it and playing it and, loving it and getting involved in every aspect of it. Barcelona have been elite for the last, for as long as Messi's been in his prime, basically.
Yeah, I remember when watching like Rivaldo on like Saturday night on Sky Sports. He's like absolutely love it. He's one of my favourite players, and that's when I was 10. So that's that's 20 years ago. So they're an elite club, but I think they've just had a bit of a purple patch in reality. I think they had the fact they had Ronaldinho in that team, and then Messi follows straight.
Well, Messi has been the game changer, yeah. Because I mean, if you look, I saw a stat this week that said Puyol by the age of 27 had won 0 trophies.
Yeah,
and by the time he retired at 34, he had won 24.
Yeah, exactly. It was they had crazy. The best. Well, we argue it the best player ever to play the game in his team. So of course they were going to do well. But I'm looking at it because I was looking at the financial things. I was like, just ridiculous. How can they be in that state, the size of that club? But he's on £1 million a week.
Is Griezmann also on £900,000 a week?
4-5, I think he's on like 450 grand a week. Yeah, but weirdly,
Jesus
after
Christ.
those two, it's kind of like the what Chelsea have done and what Coutinho did for Liverpool. But after those two, nobody else is really that big an earner. Like nobody else has got like that crazy money. It's those two who are on crazy figures. But it does make you think that, I know you're never going to say a team's better without Messi, but he obviously is getting to that stage now where he isn't at the peak of his powers. He is playing a different role. Is there a case for saying they might be £1 million a week is a lot of money? Is there rumours for saying that they'd possibly be in a better position if they had let him go in the summer, possibly?
I think you look at it in two ways. I think from a footballing side of thing, I don't think you can ever say that a team will be better off without Messi. I think from a footballing club perspective, maybe they would have been financially, and I think that City can definitely afford whatever his wages are. So I think that it probably would have made sense for it to go ahead, and that's why Messi probably wanted it to go ahead. And he had the whole falling out with the president about it. I think we'll see a big change now. I don't think we'll necessarily see a huge change in Koeman's football and the results and things like that. But I'm delighted that president has gone because he's torn everything out of that club. He's been like a virus to them.
Yeah.
And the fact that he's now gone is at least gives them a chance to come back and be the Barcelona that I mean, I don't care what you say. Every fan in the world loved watching Barcelona at the peak of their powers. So hopefully we can get back to something like that. So speaking of Barcelona, who probably had the best team of recent times, we're actually going to look at the best team of the current time in the Premier League. I've done it again, Tom. I've done it again. Look at that.
So cut me off as well. I was going to go back to La Liga, but yeah, you carry on.
No, go on. What are you going to say?
Well, it was just I wanted to just get your opinion on the whole Benzema thing this week. I'm assuming you saw it.
Oh yeah.
I wanted to get your opinion on it. So, for anyone who hasn't seen it or is listening back, Benzema in the midweek game in the Champions League, at halftime in the tunnel, is talking to Mendy, who is their left back, I think, and has told him to no longer pass to Vinicius and just said, "Don't pass to him. It's like he's playing against us. He's playing so badly. Just don't pass him the ball." And I don't know how I feel about it, and I just want to know what your opinion is.
So initially I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Why has he done that? Like, what an idiot. I think it's difficult. I think in competition, and we've probably both been parts of teams, both in sport and professionally in work and things, where you have people who are just not, even a certain, not as an ongoing basis maybe, but even on a certain day are just not, it's not one of their good days. They're not pulling their weight, whether it's a presentation you're doing that day, and then maybe they're just not getting their words out properly, whatever it is. And you say to sort of, the other members of the group, okay, let's try and do something about this. I can understand it. And I think particularly on that level of competition, I get it. I don't think it's that big a deal. I do think it's a big deal. I don't think you can say don't pass to him. I just think that's so destructive and so negative. I think as a teammate, I would have personally gone up and spoken to him and said, what I felt the issues were. So where he wasn't passing to me, where I felt like he should be going with the spaces and he can say his side of things. I wouldn't go and speak to other teammates maybe and say, don't pass to him. I just think, I don't know, something snaky about it. I don't know.
Yeah, but he's a horrible man, isn't he? That's why he doesn't play France.
Yeah, he's a
horrible, horrible man.
He's a horrible, horrible man, yeah.
Because the way I looked at it is that, okay, like I said, you all know, and I reckon it does go on quite a lot, that there's players where you're in big teams where I reckon it's probably happened at Arsenal, because some of the signings you've had, it's probably happened at United when they've had players there that are like, what are you doing in a United shirt? And it's like, well, not passing the ball to you, don't feel comfortable passing it to you when they're in space. And you obviously try and find the best players, because sometimes it is simply like with Messi, just give Messi the ball. But doesn't it sort of undermine Zidane as well? The fact that he's doing it behind his back and just gone to another player who's playing his side and gone, you can't, left back and Vinicius play on the left wing, you can't just go, don't pass to the winger, always go back inside, because that ruins the system. It ruins everything. It's just destructive for the sake of being destructive, surely.
I think that's the thing. I think unless you're willing to go up to the person themselves and say what your issue is with them, you can hear their side of things. you can say how you're seeing it and you sort it out that way. That's the only way, in my opinion. That's what I do if I was in that situation where I felt like someone wasn't performing, or if I felt like I was being sabotaged, or the team was, not performing to a highest level because of a certain member. I would go to that person and say, you're not performing on this, this, that, and the other. They can then say why they feel like they're not performing on that, and then you sort it out between you. You say to them, in a sports situation, you'd say, well, I'm on 2-on-1 every single time here. So because I used to play sort of in the back role, so I'd say I'm 2-on-1 every single time here. I need you to come back and fill that space. If you don't, I'm going to get beaten every single time. Yeah, you go and say it to the person directly rather than saying I'm not going to pass that person just because they've annoyed me this game. I don't know. It's just not how you deal with things.
Yeah, it wasn't. I agree. I think it was a lot was made out of it, but I don't think it's the end.
Oh yeah, well it would have sold a lot of stories, wouldn't it? Let's be honest.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I think it probably happens a lot of times behind the scenes. I just wanted to see what your opinion was. And
I reckon it happens a lot.
Yeah, and on Real Madrid, Hazard scored, so happy about
that. Just get that one in there.
Yeah, just drop that in.
Okay, so I now need to come up with another segue.
Yeah.
So Hazard was probably the best left winger in the league at the time, but we're going to look back at the best team of the league so far this season. Did you like that one? Was that as good?
No, it wasn't as good.
All right, fair enough.
It's a happy game.
It is what it is. So we're 7-8 games into the season, and basically we're going to say if the season was to end now, or not even end now, but if we're looking at it as of now, I don't even know what the score is in the Tottenham game, but as of right now, what is the best 11 in the Premier League so far this season? And our formation we're going to do for this, we'll do a 4-3-3, 1 CDM, 2 centre mid / centre attacking mid. Okay, so goalkeeper, talk me through.
I think it's hard to look past Edouard Mendy. Genuinely, he's played 4 games. He's played 4 games, 4 clean sheets. He's the only goalkeeper not to have conceded a goal this season. Alisson's been injured. We had, I think it was last week, had the conversation about the poor standard of the goalkeepers. So when you look at
Edison,
minus Edison, it's slim pickings at the best of times with goalkeepers. And I think if somebody hasn't conceded a goal, and he's the single defining factor in what has turned Chelsea defence around. I know we spoke about Thiago Silva at the start, but we conceded 3 with Thiago Silva in the team earlier this season, so maybe it's not just him. But having that calming influence in the back, I think it's for what drastic difference he's made in the last 4 games. We talk about just the Premier League. Bear in mind, there's also 2 clean sheets in the Champions League as well. So that's my argument for I think it should be Edouard Mendy.
Good argument, and I'll let you have it because I've got a few questionable ones later. So I agree actually, because you're right, and do you know what we'd say about Van Dijk when he joined Liverpool, that he was the single defining thing in what turned their defensive record, and you can't say that Mendy hasn't been. And from whenever I've watched Chelsea, thinking back to it now, so this is going to sound really bad because I was like, get in the bin, you're completely wrong. But whenever I've watched Chelsea, he's actually made 1 or 2, and we said it in one of the earlier podcasts, I've never seen Kepa made a worldie save. Yeah. Mendy has made 1 or 2 in pretty much every game I've watched. So, yeah, fair play. I'll give you that. Mendy can be the goalkeeper in the team of the season so far. Okay?
Just, and then honourable mention.
I'm going to make a note.
Yeah, honourable mention for Edison as well, I think is fair.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, I'm going to make a note of this. So we got Mendy. Okay, right back. I've got mine.
I'll go Kyle Walker after my chat earlier.
Okay, well, I've got a couple then, but mine would be so far this season, I will go with Bellerin. I think he's been the best right back in the league by far this season.
Not Tarek
attacking
Lamptey?
And defense. I've got my other one is Lamptey. I can't decide between the two. I think Bellerin's been better, but just because he plays for a better team. Like that's it.
Bear in mind, Tarek Lamptey has just scored against Spurs as well.
Oh, I love the man. Lamptey it is. I love him.
Just so we're not going. Just because we're not going top 4, then aren't we? I think it's hard, for me. It's hard to look past Kyle Walker because Tarek.
I disagree in terms of the whole season. I think he's been really good in a couple of games, but I think I think over the course of the whole season so far, I will go with Lamptey because he was my player of the week for the first 2 weeks of the season.
Yeah.
he's been every single time I've watched him, I've just thought he's brilliant.
He got dragged off at half time in one game.
I think that was a tactical thing rather than because he is a very attacking right back, and they play three at the back, 3 centre backs to allow him to do that. So, I think we'll go with Lamptey. Oh well, unless I understand Carl Walker, but I think if you've nominated Lamptey as well, I think we'll both agree on Lamptey then.
Yeah, I think if we were, he'd be young player of the season, young defender of the season, best young right back.
Yeah.
Which is mental. Going back to that right back conversation, where England are going to have some issues.
Oh yeah,
you've got Tarek Lamptey, Reece James, Wan-Bissaka, Alexander-Arnold, Trippier, and Kyle Walker. There's 7 players to play at right back who would probably slot in any normal time. But yeah, I like that. If going a bit left field, let's go Tarek Lamptey then. Lamptey right back.
Okay, nice. Okay, 2 centre backs.
I'm going to say Thiago Silva as one.
Okay, can I give you my 2 nominations?
Yeah, you're going to say Gabriel, aren't you?
I've got Gabriel as one of them because he's been a monster this season. You can't say he hasn't. Today. And my other one, surprisingly, is Zuma.
Okay.
Your face was like, wow.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah. If you're going to pick a Chelsea defender, it'd have to be Thiago Silva because Zuma scored goals.
I nearly went with him.
Zuma scored goals, so that makes him look good. But Thiago Silva's the calming force that allows him to go and do all of that stuff. And he was half at fault for that horrendous Kepa incident against Southampton. On the ball, he's a bit shaky, but as a force in the air, it's not many better at the moment, in fairness. He is having a very good season. But I think he's having a very good season because he's got somebody holding his hand next to him, which he did.
So a couple of other ones then. What about, we've got Vestergaard, Southampton. He's had a good season so far.
Conceded too many goals.
Ezri Konsa, Villa.
Conceded too many goals. He just conceded 4 today. You can't have a...
Yeah, but before that,
he's
been good. Tyrone Mings has been very solid.
I think Tyrone Mings is a shout. I wouldn't say the best in the season. I think it's fair to have Gabriel in there. He's got the best defensive record in the league. I think it's quite hard to look past him, and he's probably he's probably got a man of the match performance in him today. I don't know who officially got it, but he was.
It's got to be Partey, surely, but he was
he's pretty close. Oh no, stupid Premier League app's giving it to Aubameyang because he got the most points. It's a joke. I think Gabriel. And again, I'm going to be
the other one then.
I'm going to be biased, and I'm going to say I think Thiago Silva. Again, it's for the same reason as Mendy. Just because
I think if you're saying that they've Villa have conceded too many goals, then you can't give it to Chelsea.
He didn't play against Southampton.
Who?
Christian.
Thiago Silva. Yeah, but he played against West Brom.
Yeah, it's true. Don't know then.
I think you can't look at it's the thing I always say to you. You can't be that simplistic with it. Like the stats and stuff, I understand, but it's got to be the best individual player. And I understand what you mean. I think Thiago Silva has been very good. I'm just trying to think of others. I can't think of. I mean, Man City.
Cody.
They haven't been. Cody's a great shout. Yeah, I'm giving it to Cody because he has been phenomenal.
And the fact that he's as a captain as well. As a captain, he's been brilliant. And if we talk about defensive records, they've got the second best defensive record in the league.
Yeah,
they've only conceded. They've played. And bear in mind, they've played the same amount of games as you and only conceded 1 more goal. And the fact he's a captain, I think that kind of makes it. If we're picking a team here, for him to be
first international cap as well this season.
Yeah, how mad is this stat? I should have took a screenshot of it. I had to reboot my phone, so it's probably not on there. It was when he scored for England. There was a stat. In that game for England, he had more shots. So it came up on the thing, on the teletext thing. He'd had more shots on target in that game for England than he'd had in his entire Premier League career for Wolves. And then literally 30 seconds after that, it came up Conor Cody goal. So it's obviously like a system thing that he's not allowed. But yeah, I think he deserves an honourable mention.
And he's had a very good sort of young partner next to him in Kilman as well. Who's been very impressive this season. But I think, again, it's like the Zuma Thiago Silva thing. I think the only reason the young man's been able to be so impressive is because Cody's been sort of guiding the way.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, definitely Cody. So Cody and Gabriel were in agreement with, yeah?
Yeah, I want to give an honourable mention as well for whatever his name is, the new one for Man City.
Ruben Diaz?
Yeah, it's Ruben Diaz. Yeah, I think he's
been good.
He's looked really, really good every time I've seen him play. And him and Laporte, he looks like a Rolls Royce by himself. Never mind that was him playing with, I think it was Ake I saw him playing with. So that's only going to look even better when you've got him next to Laporte. I think.
Yeah, for sure.
That's why I think, although I think Liverpool probably still win the league, I think with what we were saying about Man City running them close, I think if they've got those two centre half, I think keep them fit and Ederson in goal, they're not going to concede many. So
yeah, no, I agree. Okay, left back.
See, this is where it's annoying because I don't want to say.
Okay, so my two. Well, I have got Chilwell in there as a third.
Okay, there you go.
My others are Tierney because I think he's been phenomenal.
Yeah.
And again, I think it sounds like I'm going to be really biased, but Arsenal have had a very good defensive record this season. So this bit of the sort of lineup, I am going to give a lot of nominations. I can tell you after this, there is no nominations for Arsenal in my.
Same. I've got no Chelsea ones after this either.
So I've got Chilwell, Tierney, and I know he plays right back for Leicester, but he is actually a left back and right back. But Castagna, I think Castagna has been very, very good this season,
and they've got a good defensive record as well.
Yeah, very good.
I've also been really impressed with Reguilon.
Yeah, he's fourth on mine, and I didn't include him because I think he hasn't played enough games.
He's looked
so far,
very good, and annoyingly, he's just got an assist to Spurs. But yeah, he's looked, again, it's not if you talk about just records and stuff, but when I've watched him in games, he looks really good. He looks a cut above what they've got there at the moment, and it makes
attacking
me think,
fullback wise.
Yeah.
I think you're right when you say a cut above. I think he's probably a cut above attacking fullback wise. I think he's probably a cut above most in the league.
He could be the best going forward, and that's saying something with Andy Robertson, who we haven't mentioned, but they've conceded 2 goals.
He's not had a great season, Robertson, to be honest.
He puts in the effort and stuff, but they've conceded too many goals to have a Liverpool defender in there. Purely just on the Villa game, to be honest. But yeah, I think he's probably the best going forward. I think he's looked really good. You can tell he's a Real Madrid level player, and I think United fans it'll be interesting to see how good Telles is. But I know he was kind of a backup because they didn't get Reguilon, and Reguilon does look good. So that could be a bit of a miss, especially with the performance of Luke Shaw today.
For sure.
Okay.
Well,
you did punny,
get out. Jesus Christ.
That's terrible.
My segues might be bad, but that was bloody terrible.
So I want to, again, I'm not going to say Chilwell because he's looked like the perfect left back, personally. He does absolutely everything brilliantly. But for ones where I've spotted a player and be like, oh God, you're doing well, I think I'm going to go Reguilon for me.
Interesting. I'd probably lean with Castagna, but I definitely am not against Reguilon at all. So I'll put that for sure.
Okay, so we've got back
and also
five
because
now.
Castagna has actually played right back most of the season. Okay, so let's go with our CDM.
Okay.
I lied about the Arsenal nominations. I forgot about his position. Sorry.
God's sake. You can't say Thomas Partey.
I
you
know
can't. He's played one game.
I know.
He's played one game in the league.
I know, but oh my God.
Right, and I can't have Thiago Silva because he had one misstep. Absolutely no chance, mate.
Fine. Okay. Do you want to hear my 2 nominations, and then I'll let you do yours?
Yeah. Okay.
My 2 nominations are El Neni, just because he's had a phenomenal season.
Yeah,
my actual nomination for who I think should be CDM of the season so far is Declan Rice.
Ooh, fair. I can't really argue that. I'm thinking Calvin Phillips. And
okay. Good nomination.
Because of the way their system works, and he's a bit of a ball player, I think he looks really good. And this is a very strange one, but most people will probably shoot me down for it because of where they are in the league. But I've been really impressed with Sander Berg at Sheffield United.
He impressed me so much last season when he came in.
Yeah, he
after
looks
lockdown.
Really good.
Proper player.
Yeah, and against Man City, he was the only player, because I watched the game on Saturday, because I don't do anything else on the weekends. and he was like a player that was like, oh, you could go to the next level. I can't remember who he nutmegged, but he nutmegged somebody out on the wing, and set
The
up
thing about him is
Lundstram
he's
for a
such a
chance.
big
Huge.
and Lundstram should have scored that.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's such a unit. You kind of when you're watching him, you forget that he's actually a very good footballer. He can
Great
pass, he
feet.
can dribble, he's got good stamina. He reads the game really well. Yeah, he's one that I think could easily go and play for one of the big clubs, and he's young as well, very young.
Yeah, he could be. I could see him at City. Like he's the closest I've seen to a Fernandinho style of player there because of just his size and his presence, as well as because he's big and he can win it in the air. And for such a big man to have such good feet is rare. So yeah, honourable mention for him. So I might pick him. Would be my one.
I don't think you can go for the season because of. I know we're looking at individuals, and he has been very good individually. I just think for how they've recovered this season and the person who has led them to be able to do that and their real leader on the pitch, and he's very good whenever he's on the ball. I'm going to have to go for Declan Rice.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. If we're doing a team as well, that's two captains you've got in there as well now.
Yeah, Cody and Rice for sure.
But on a mention of that though, looking at because I've got the league in front of me now, Sheffield United conceded the same amount of goals as West Ham. They've conceded the same amount of goals as they've conceded one less goal than Everton. They've conceded one more than Chelsea, who we're saying about a decent start to the season defensively. They've only conceded three more than Arsenal, who've got the best defence in the league. Their problem is they've scored 3 goals all season. They've scored 3 goals in 7 games.
It's tricky. It could go to. Do you know what? I'm surprised you haven't mentioned Højbjerg because I know you're a big fan of him.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good point. I'm a big fan of Højbjerg. I'll go Declan. Yeah, it is. I think the problem with Declan Rice is maybe it's just me, but I don't think he looks that good on the ball compared to some of the others.
He's like to me, what I would compare him as would be like a Havertz. He's not nice to watch on the ball, but most of the time he's quite effective.
Yeah, I think he's probably the best. It depends what you want in that sort of pivot role, doesn't it? Do you want somebody who just wins the ball? If that's all you want as a ball winner, he's been better at that than Kante this season. Of just breaking up play and then playing the simple pass, he's been brilliant. But if you want a little bit more than that, I think you then have to look at players like Calvin Phillips, Sander Berg, Højbjerg. I think Højbjerg has been fantastic. Thanks for reminding me. I think he's been really good. But they've conceded too many goals. Like if you're thinking about it, that West Ham game, I don't know if he was on the pitch at that point. Probably was. He shouldn't have been letting Lanzini have that shot if that's his role. His role there is to stop things like that happening. So yeah, I'll concede Declan Rice. I'll give you Declan Rice.
I just think purely because I think the only reason they've been able to go out and come back from the start they had is because of his presence. I think he's 23 and he's their captain.
Yeah.
And I just think he's the one who he sets the tone in the game. So I think he's an important person to have in their team. And I think in terms of what he's asked to do, I think he's been standout this season.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, him and Michael Antonio are the reason, aren't they?
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so the two centre mids in front, which are going to be centre mid / centre attacking mids. Okay, so I've got one that I think we're both pretty set on. I'm going to go James.
Yeah, that's fair. But he's been playing further forward though.
Yeah, so I'm thinking like a Pep, Fernandinho, CDM, and then David Silva and De Bruyne as the two centre attacking mids deep line.
Yeah, that's not what he's been playing. Really. He's been kind of being the free role, isn't he?
Yeah, so I'm thinking he would be the central, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, because I think it shows a lot of how much they've missed in the last couple of games. It just shows how good he's been.
Huge.
Him and his testicle injury, mystery testicle injury that he's got this weekend. The way you've been up to, mate. Also,
did you see that there was a porn star?
I
get well soon message.
I just call it as well. Whoever the medical team, I just call it a groin strain. Don't throw him under the bus like that. Come on, surely.
So true. So true.
Yeah, I think it's quite hard to look past Hammers, isn't it? To be fair, I think it is.
Okay, so after that, who are we looking at?
I don't think anybody's been stand out.
John McGinn, Aston Villa, he's been good. Not standout, but he's been good.
Jack Grealish?
I see. I had Grealish, but I have him there. But obviously, he's like a left wing, isn't he? That's how he plays. I would squeeze him into that position because he has been standout, and I know who I'm going to put as left wing, and I can't look Grealish above. So I might purely for like Garth Crooks, when he puts like Troy Deeney
centre back. Yeah,
I might purely put Grealish as the cam because I think that's where he'll end up long term. I think he'll be a centre attacking mid.
Yeah.
I might squeeze him in there just for this purpose of this because I think he has been standout this season.
Yeah, he has been.
So
he's what has he scored today? He got 2 assists.
Yeah, and he's my other one that I've got listed there. I didn't say it because I thought actually he's a left winger. But yeah, I think if we wanted to, then I'm pretty comfortable with a Rice, Grealish, James. I think from this season, I think that's
fair. I think Grealish.
Pretty accurate.
You couldn't have this without Grealish in it. I don't think. I think it wouldn't be fair for how good they've been and the fact that how high up the league Villa are, and that's let's be honest, he's not done it single-handedly, but not far off. Let's be honest, he's just been immense.
Okay, so the front three, are we even going to argue over it? Let's see. I'll say my 3, and I'll just do it from right to left. So I'll do the wingers first. So right wing Salah, left wing Son, striker Kane.
Ooh, I thought you were going to go something else.
What did you think I was going to go?
I thought you were going to put Dominic Calvert-Lewin in there.
No, I can't look above Kane this season. Kane has just been... You can't. Even though Dominic Calvert-Lewin has been incredible, Harry Kane has just been ridiculous. Yeah,
he has, in fairness. You can't look past Son. He's the league's top scorer. I think he has to be in there on the left so far.
Mm-hmm.
I don't agree with Salah, though. So I've got him. So he's in my fantasy team, so obviously I pay more attention instantly. And although he has scored a fair amount of goals, hat-trick first game of the season, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, hat-trick first game of the season. Just looking through it now, did he score against Arsenal? No, he didn't. So he didn't score against Arsenal. He obviously scored for Liverpool. He scored 2 in that game. They lost 7-2. I just don't think watching them, I don't think he looks... He obviously scores goals, but I don't think he's been outstanding this season, personally.
I get what you mean. As an overall performance, all-round performance, I don't think he's been anywhere near his elite.
No, not at all. I think...
Okay, do you know what I'm tempted to
bear in mind, there's a couple of pens in there as well, which almost shouldn't...
Do you know what I'm tempted to do? I am tempted to put Harry Kane as a cam, put Son on the right, Grealish on the left, and Dominic Calvert-Lewin up top.
I was thinking that as well. I was thinking you could definitely get away with putting Grealish out wide, couldn't you?
Okay, I'm doing it. I'm doing it because you're right. Salah is...
I don't think Salah deserves it. I think if you're doing wingers, it would have to be Son and Grealish, but then obviously they both play down the left. But like you said, let's go full Garth Crooks and play Harry Kane central midfield.
Yeah, or do we just make it 4-4-2? 4-2-3-1.
Yeah, do 4-4-2. Yeah, do 4-4-2.
Okay.
That's better.
All right. Okay. Fine. Okay. So
you could do it 4-2-3-1, couldn't you? And you could have Kane as like a number 10.
Yeah. Okay. And then we'll put Grealish on the right,
where he plays all the time. Yeah.
Where he plays, he's always played there in his career, and he's done well. So we'll play him on the right. James will be a CDM alongside Declan Rice.
Yeah. Deep line playmaker. Deep line playmaker.
Of course. Deep line playmaker. And then, Calvert-Lewin up front with Kane as the number 10. Fair. To be fair, though, on actual names, I don't think we've gone far wrong. I don't think you can say De Bruyne deserves to be in there so far this season.
Sterling,
like you said, Salah I was doing purely because of the fact that, he does score goals. Sterling, he's been good, but he's probably not quite elite enough. And I think these other players for their clubs and their level have played better than he has for his level. That's what I would say.
Yeah, God, just looking at it now. Goal contributions this season. Harry Kane is on 14 in 7 games.
Mm-hmm.
He's 6 goals, 8 assists. He's on 8 assists in 7 games.
Incredible. Okay, so do you want the 1 to 11? So we've got Mendy in goal, Lamptey right back, centre back pairing are Cody and Gabriel, left back Reguilon, Declan Rice and James as our 2 central midfielders. We've got Grealish along the right, Son on the left, Harry Kane at number 10, and Dominic Calvert-Lewin as our number 9 striker. I think that's pretty accurate, to be fair.
I think it'd be harsh. It'd be harsh not to have Calvert-Lewin, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I agree.
It'd be very, very harsh.
I agree. Well, I think, if you're listening and you'd like to nominate any other players that you think we've clearly forgotten, then get in touch and let us know.
I think we have.
We probably have. But I think, off the top of my head, from what I've watched, and I've watched a lot of football this season, I think that's pretty fair assessment.
Yeah, I want to put an honourable mention for strikers as well, because I think Mikel Antonio's really, really impressed me.
Yeah, I think he's very unlucky not to get in this, but I just think because of Calvert-Lewin and how great he's been, I think if Calvert-Lewin wasn't doing what he's doing, then it's Antonio all day, isn't it? Let's be honest.
Or Danny Ings. Because if Danny Ings doesn't score, the other week he got 2 assists. The one game he doesn't score, he got 2 assists.
I tell you what, Ward-Prowse has been incredible this season.
I nearly mentioned him when we said
Che
Grealish.
Adams.
No, you're not with Che Adams. You can. That's a liberty.
No, but I mean they've all been very impressive players. I think Ward-Prowse is. I mean, considering we've now changed the formation, I think instead of Rice, it's up there.
It's too attacking, isn't it? You got to if we're having a holding player.
Well, we're not sending this team out to play. It's just. We were going to have Harry Kane as centre mid a second ago.
In that case, Harry Kane's at right back. Tarek Lamptey, you're gone. Brilliant. Yeah, I reckon we made some mistakes in the defence. I couldn't think of any centre halves. I must admit.
I don't know. I think Cody and Gabriel has been a monster, and I think so has Cody. So
yeah, that's fair.
I think that's fair. I honestly don't think anyone can say that we've been absolutely, completely ridiculous and forgotten a standout obvious choice. I think that's a pretty fair team. That. But yeah, if you disagree, please get in touch and let us know, and we'd love to hear your thoughts.
Good team.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think there's a lot of players in there as well that will go on to be, one of the big teams players. Anyone who isn't playing for a big team currently, I think they'll all go on and have big careers anyway.
100%.
As is shown this season. Okay, you ready for this segue? You ready for this absolute phenomenal segue? Okay. Tom, have you ever wondered what the fastest ever red card is? Let me tell you. Well, that's my segue. Done. Okay, so actually, have you ever wondered and actually ever thought about what the fastest ever red card is?
I reckon there was one before kickoff. Like someone swore, no, you told me about this.
Okay, well, no, because this is my favourite story. And the reason I'm bringing it up now is we just had its 20-year anniversary. So in October of the year 2000, there was the fastest ever red card given in football. It was to Cross Farm Park Celtic striker. The Cross Farm Park Celtic, big team. But it was their striker, Lee Todd. Yeah? Ballon d'Or nominee for 1999 and 2000. Lee Todd, no, not really. But he sets the record, right, for being sent off 2 seconds into the game. He got his marching orders, right? It's my favourite story, this. He got his marching orders after the ref blew the whistle to start the game right into the ear of Lee Todd, right? And Lee responded with his ears still ringing by screaming, "Fuck me, that was loud." And he got sent off for foul and abusive language.
Can you imagine players nowadays getting sent off for foul and abusive language? Every game would be like a write-off, wouldn't it?
He genuinely thought he was talking, like, when you have headphones in and you have no idea how loud. His ears were ringing. Like a grenade had just gone off, and he just thought he went, "Fuck me, that was loud," and he just screamed it to the ref
in his face as well.
It's in his face, and got sent off 2 seconds in. The one after that, by the way, is to a man called something Platt. I can't remember his name. But he got sent off 3 seconds in for a tackle. Now, how bad must that tackle be? 3 seconds in that you've gone, right, okay, you're immediately sent off. And again, it was like Sunday League sort of level. So I reckon what's happened is there's been like a bit of, he's probably like slept with his missus or something. He's just gone, I don't even care about the game today. As soon as that whistle goes,
2 foot.
John is getting it straight in the face. 2 foot
waist high, 2
neck
feet.
Height.
Yeah. Stood straight
3 seconds in. Yeah. But yeah, no, it still stands to this day. 2 seconds in for shouting "fuck me," that was loud after the
amazing.
Absolutely one of the best football stories ever. That
I thought you were gonna. I thought it was gonna be like before the game, like somebody swore at a ref in the tunnel. something like that.
I mean, I'd imagine that probably has happened, but I don't know if that counts. Like,
Because it hasn't technically started.
hasn't started yet. I don't know. Yeah, it's a good point actually.
Yeah.
I'll look into it. I'll look into it for next week. Bit of homework. But yeah, that was my short story of this week.
Love that. Absolutely love that. Seeing as I was unable to guess who the fastest red card in history was, it's now Louis' time to try and guess who I am. And after the massive,
that was smooth.
Yeah, awful. After the success and positive feedback we had last week, I'm going to steal Louis' segment. So I am a player, and Louis, I can only answer yes or no, and Louis has to guess who I am. And throughout the process, what was I given? 5 guesses, was it?
Yeah, I think it was. Was it? Well, it was a round. I didn't actually count. I think it was about 5 guesses.
Yeah, about 5
It was
guesses.
like five questions and then a guess, and then there was 4. I think you were allowed. No, what was it? Was it 5 questions and then a guess and then 5 guesses?
I just kept asking questions, and you're only allowed 5 guesses. Because
Okay.
I went like.
But if I've asked like
stuff.
quite a few questions, then you can say to me, have a guess now.
Yeah.
That's what we did. Okay. I'm quite annoyed because I forgot when I started this that I'd have to do it back, and I'm starting to realise now how hard it actually is. So,
Yeah,
interesting. So you've got a player in mind? Have you?
Yeah, I've got a player in mind. I know it's going to. I've got a guy.
Okay. Oh, nice. Okay, I don't have to ask. Is it a male? It's a guy. Brilliant. Okay, nice. I've smashed that. Okay. Do you still play now?
Yes.
Do you play in the Premier League?
No.
Have you played in the Premier League?
Yes.
Do you play in one of the major European leagues currently? Okay. When I say major, okay, I need to specify that more.
Yeah.
Do you play in Serie A?
No.
Do you play in Liga 1?
No.
Do you play in the Bundesliga?
No.
I think I know who it is. Do you play in the Belgian Jupiler
No.
Jupiter League? Okay. Do you play in La Liga?
No.
Do you play in, I don't know what Portugal's is, like Liga NOS?
No.
Do you play in one of the major European leagues?
Yes, I've checked, yeah.
But it's none of them. What?
It's the only one you haven't mentioned. Pretty much.
I've done Premier League. Do you play in the Scottish Premiership?
No, I don't know.
Okay, I've done Premier League. I've done the Liga. Oh, do you play? I don't know what the Turkish league is.
No.
People
are screaming.
Oh, do you play in the Dutch league, Eredivisie?
Yes, I do.
Okay, and you have played in the Premier League.
I have.
Okay. Are you a goalkeeper?
No.
Are you a defender?
No.
Are you a central midfielder? Or a midfielder? Are you a midfielder?
No.
Are you a striker?
Sorry.
Are you a winger?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. You're a winger. Okay. And you've played in the Premier League and you now play in the Dutch league. Oh, I know who you are. I know exactly who you are. Okay, this is my first guess. Iron Robin.
Yes.
Oh! Yes! Get in!
Yes.
Right, that was over way quicker than I thought it was. So right now, I want you to think of another player.
Okay. It's because I'm currently playing. I think that's one that gave it away, and that one like hit social media quite a lot, didn't it? Like where he was playing.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. Right. Let me think of somebody. Okay.
Also, I know that you're like Dutch league. You would have been like, whatever. So you'd only know Gertz and Robin. So once it was like the Dutch league, I was like, right, okay.
Yeah, there's only so many. That's the thing. It was the still playing thing. I think that did it.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, go for an ex-player. It's harder, mate. We're like when I did Shevchenko.
Okay, I've got one.
Okay, happy for me to start?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it a male?
It is.
Okay. Are you currently playing?
No.
Okay. Did you play in the Premier League?
Yes.
Did you play the majority of your career in the Premier League?
No.
Did you play in La Liga?
Yes.
Did you play for Chelsea?
No.
Are you Spanish?
No.
Not Spanish. Okay. Played in La Liga. Not playing anymore. Played in the Premier League, yeah?
Yeah.
Are you Ivorian?
No.
Oh, that was in your head. Okay. Okay, what could I ask? Are you a goalkeeper?
No.
Are you a defender?
No.
Midfielder?
Yes.
Central?
Yes.
Are you an attacking midfielder?
No.
Are you a defensive midfielder?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, I don't like that.
Yeah, I'd say yes.
Not playing anymore. Did you play for Real Madrid?
Yes.
But you didn't play for Chelsea?
No. So I'm not Lassana Diarra.
I was good. It's exactly who I was thinking of. Exactly who I was thinking of. Okay. Played for Real Madrid. Played in the Premier League. I think there was that weird other midfielder called Diarra who also played in the Premier League, but not for Chelsea. Is it him?
No.
Mohamed Diarra. Okay, no. All right, that's one of my guesses then. So I've got 4 left. Okay. So you played for Real Madrid. Did you play in any other league other than the Premier League and La Liga?
Yes.
Did you play in Serie A?
No.
Did you play in Bundesliga?
Yes.
Oh, I go Kadira, but he hasn't played in the bloody Premier League. He stumped me here. Okay, let's think. So you're a central midfielder. You played in the Bundesliga. You played for Real Madrid. You don't play anymore. Are you German?
No.
Not German, not Spanish. Not Ivorian. Am I going to hate myself?
I don't know.
Okay. Did you play for Bayern Munich?
No.
Did you play for Borussia Dortmund?
No.
Did you play for Hoffenheim?
No.
Okay. Did you play for Man United?
No.
Did you play for Arsenal?
Nope.
Liverpool?
No.
Tottenham?
Nope.
Everton?
Yes.
Everton? Real Madrid? Oh! Did he play in the Bundesliga? Are you Danish?
Yes.
Why have I forgotten his name? It's not Lee Carsley. It is.
That's the one I was trying to remember. When I've got his Wikipedia page up now. I was trying to remember. There was another person who looked exactly like him.
There's another bald man. I cannot remember.
I completely forgot about Lee Carsley.
Why have I forgotten his name, Tom? I can't finish this until I get his name right, and I don't know his name.
Lee Carsley, Premier League legend.
The annoying thing is, I can tell you facts about this player. He became a professional poker player after football.
Yeah.
This player that you're thinking of.
Mm-hmm.
And he earned more money from he earned more money from poker than he ever did from football.
Mm-hmm.
What is his name? I hate myself. It's not like Anderson, but it's something like that. What is it?
Oh, this is good. This is. I bet you've got his face in your head as well now, haven't you?
Yeah, I can see it so clearly.
Mm-hmm.
I was watching Harry Potter yesterday, and it's pretty much Voldemort.
Yeah. The one and
I
only.
can't remember his name. Do you know who all I'm thinking of is Thomas Rosinsky? And it's not him.
No, it's not him. Not him. Definitely not him.
It is Thomas. That's why I thought of Rosinsky. It's not Sorensen.
Nope.
Gravison. Thomas Gravison.
Yes, Thomas Gravison.
Oh my god, that was doing my head in. That was like frying my head. If you're watching this on YouTube, I've gone a little bit red. That was actually like annoying me. That was quite good though. I managed to get 2 actually. I
was going to do him or Julian Faubert.
That would have been a good one.
Yeah, but I thought it's too easy. Well, Andrei Shevchenko should be too easy, but I'm going. I'm an idiot. You're down, Thomas.
If you'd have finished it off with that, I would have loved it so much.
I know.
So brilliant. Right, good stuff. Right, okay, so I think that brings the podcast to an end. I think it's probably a little bit of a shorter one this week, which is good because we're trying to get them down probably closer to the hour mark if we can. But sometimes we just need to get them all out, don't we? We don't really keep an eye on the time. It's just whatever it is. So yeah, we hope you've enjoyed. As always, take a look out for the clips on the socials. Get in touch with us on Instagram or Twitter. Give us a follow and recommend us to anyone who likes a bit of a football chat. Or as always, if you have any questions or anything like that, please give us a shout. But apart from that, we will be back next week. And thanks very much for listening. Take care.